welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about the buckets. I'm going to show how to create, how to delete, how to move, copy, download buckets from objects and buckets from the Google Cloud. Also, I'm going to show even some basic information about the versioning of the bucket, what is versioning and why we use it. Also, I'm going to show some interaction with your buckets and objects from the terminal, from the gcloud package. And I'm going to create an idea how we can operate normally through console and through gcloud package in your Google Cloud buckets. First, we have login in our account. I have created a project that is already running, and this project I'm going to create in the bucket. If you have not created a project, then you have to create a new one and then to start creating the buckets. If you have not already located yourself in the page where the bucket or the cloud storage is, you can find in the navigation bar in the cloud storage there is a buckets. So now is the main view of the buckets. We haven't created anything yet, and we're going to use the terminal before we are the command prompt. The gcloud commands are similar, are the same for all the operating system, for Ubuntu, Mac, and command prompt that is running in Windows. So you just have to make sure that the gcloud is already installed as a package in your terminal. You run gcloud version, and you can see that the Google Cloud SDK is running, is installed already in my terminal, and it gives information about the components. Each component is responsible for different operation in the different services or resources of the Google Cloud. For any reason that's is not running the command, you might have to install the component that is responsible for that resource in your Google Cloud SDK. And you can perform even the update of your components. So this is some basic information about the gcloud command. Before we start creating the command, I want to mention that gcloud is responsible as a command for our storage buckets, and if you see here in a version, it gives that this component is already installed, so we can run different commands and that runs through this component. So gsutil is a command that interacts with the Google Cloud storage buckets and other services that the cloud storage offers. gcloud ls is the basic commands that list the buckets that you have already created in your account. Since I don't have any, that means that my gcloud the thing that they're going to list is 0 objects, since I have nothing created yet in my account. First, we're going to create a bucket. We're going to create with gcloud storage buckets create. That's the main command. And how we write the command is gcloud, this is the provider, and then is the storage, and then buckets. It has the same order as you can find in your navigation bar. And create is the function that in this way it's going to tell the command prompt that is a creation of the bucket. And then we have to create a name for the bucket and also to specify the path. The path for the Google Cloud is GS. This specified the path of your buckets in your Google Cloud. So before you create a name, you have to specify the path. And then we'll use demo lab 1. And as a tag, we specify the location, which in this case is going to be US West 1. If you don't specify the location, then by default the Google Cloud is going to create a bucket in multi-region, and it's going to by default create even a location where this bucket is going to be saved. By specifying the location, in this way you are selecting only one region and you are specifying where this bucket is going to be stored. So these are kind of a little bit elements to know before you create, because they have different price buckets that is saved is stored in a different, in multi-region, and a bucket that is specified in one region. Also, it has even some technical differences, because if one region has a problem and your bucket is saved in that region, then you might have problems to access or to operate with the data that is stored in that region. Meanwhile, when it's stored in multi-region, if one region is having problem, then you still can manipulate, or you can operate with your data that is stored from other regions, and it doesn't affect your storage in this way, but it has more money, it has more cost, so it depends on what kind of requirement your project is. So we run it, and now it shows that is created. If we write gcloud ls, we see that our bucket is created, and it shows even the name. We can go to the console, we can refresh the page, and we see that our bucket is a simple bucket that is created. It is in the region, it is created in US1, it has the same name, and some basic information. The command that I created with a storage bucket is very, very basic. So if you want to add more elements to your bucket or more configuration, you can specify, and you can read even tutorials about the pricing, and also tutorials that they give information about different configuration of the buckets through your terminal, depend on the requirement of your project. So now our bucket is created, and we can open the bucket, and it's very simple. Now we can upload some files. I'm going to upload these two files that is one HTML and one CSS, and they are both already uploaded, and they are in the file that I have in the buckets that I have created. Let's create another bucket that it's not going to be with a specification of the location. So we're going to create a bucket with no location, and we're going to call it lab2. So it's gcloud storage buckets create gs demo lab2. So this is gcloud storage bucket create is the main command with a function in it, and is the path and also the name of the bucket. We run it, and it's created. If you run the you're going to see that we have two buckets already. So the new bucket that I created, and I didn't specify the region, is a multi-region one. It has US, and it doesn't have a location like specified in Oregon, but it's multi-region, and it's chosen the US region. There are even options to create for the Europe or Asia, but since we work in United States, and most of the default configuration that I have been doing in US, so by default it choose the US. The other one is there are some very basic information that there are for these buckets. If you go here, you can upload, or you can delete, or you can do some more, or you can check the configuration or edit the configuration if you want to do changes. We're going to go to the lab 1 where my document is. I have already uploaded the documents, and if you want this document, you can click delete it if you want to delete, or you can go in the objects here, and here you have options to copy. You might check. So here is the destination, the the full path, the destination, the source buckets, and the file that you want to create. And now we can specify the destination, which is going to be this one here. From demo 1, we're going to go to demo lab 2. We can run it. And as you can see, the copy is done successfully. So the GUSTL copy, that's the full path of the file that I want to copy and I want to send to this bucket. So this GS, this is the way how you can identify different buckets that they are in your Google Cloud storage. You can go here and you can see, let's upload it. And you can see that the copy of your document is already performed successfully. Or you can check. Let me clear a little bit. And then we have we can see what is inside the bucket. As we take our bucket that we just performed the copy, and it's gonna show that the index HTML is inside the bucket. The other one is that we can do even move. So for example, let's go to lab 1 and we can move this document. You can do this by clicking in this move here and search for the resource and select it, and you can move your bucket there. Then you see that this file is disappearing from this page, and it's gonna go from that bucket, it's gonna go in this bucket. Or you can do even copy. Let's go to the source bucket and you specify even the file. So this is the path of the bucket and the file where it's stored. And we can move to our bucket that we already created previously, or where previously my file was saved. So we run it and it's copying and removing. We can see that here already the file doesn't exist. And if we choose the lab 1, we're going to see that the file is already transferred successfully in the other buckets. We can see even here, we can refresh it and see that there are 2 files already successfully in the bucket, saved in the bucket, and here is only 1 file. The other one is to delete your file. Let's go to the bucket here. We take the object and we delete. This is actually a permanent delete. We can delete even the bucket from your account. Let's clear a little bit. gcloud storage buckets. Now instead of writing create, we can write the function delete, and then we can write gs and specify the buckets that we want to delete. We take the name here and This is the specification of the file, of the buckets that we want to delete. We can run it. And it is completed successfully. We can run the command to see the listed buckets that I have in my account, and it shows that my bucket is already deleted successfully. So now I have only one bucket that I created, and in this bucket I have already 2 files. The other thing is that you can download your file. For downloading your file, we use a command that is copy. You can specify the path where your file you want to save in your local machine, or you can locate your terminal in that folder, and then you can download that file in the current folder that you are using. So let's say that I'm going to go to downloads. So now I am in a downloads in my local machine, and in downloads I want to download this file. So we're gonna use gcloud copy, and then we're gonna specify the full path of our bucket. Let's go to bucket. That is the name of the bucket. We specify it, and then we specify which file we want to download, which in this case is index.html. And by writing dot at the end, we download this file at the current file that we are in our terminal, which means we are currently located in downloads. We can try it. And the operation is done successfully. You can go to downloads here, and you see that the download is performed successfully. Or we can go back and write gcloud copy, or let's write copy paste. That's the whole command. Now we try style, and now we can write C, or you can write just home, downloads. And is already installed. So the path, I specified the path of the downloads, and if you go here, you do a refresh here to the downloads, you're going to see that somewhere here is even my file. Or you can write or you can save in documents, for example. Depends where you want to save your location. Let's try to copy and try to download in a different way. We can go to downloads here and see somewhere if it is documents. So this is the file that I already downloaded, and it shows here even the time when it's downloaded. That's the way how you can search your file when you have too many documents that they are saved in that folder. Or you can save in a different location, or you can specify the downloads by this long way. and download. We go to downloads, and here is a source file. If it doesn't work this way, by writing home and downloads, you can specify the full path of the location where you want to save in your local machine. So these are some basic way how you can download from your command prompt or for your terminal your documents in or files that you have in your Google Cloud bucket storage. Now let's talk about the versioning. The versioning is an option that is created in the cloud storage buckets. This is to keep multiply version of the object in the bucket. So let's suppose that when you activate your versioning in the bucket, one document is modified, and you don't want to lose your version of the other modification of the previous file that you have. So by versioning, you can save the previous version of your file, and you can leave live the lastest one, or you can go back to the version that you had before. To keep in mind the versioning of the bucket, it has a difference when it comes to the price. So it is not something that is cheap. Depends on how long you keep versioning. It's going to take storage, and you're going to be charged with a different price. It is always good to read the tutorials that are the documents that the Google Cloud provide to get the information about how much costs the storage, the versioning for the buckets that you have. It is a form how you can use for backup of the information. Also, it is even a way to track your changes, especially when you work in team. And for example, you have Terraform files that you want to share with your coworkers, and you are working in a group, or you have different kind of HTML files or different kind of files that a group of or a team might change and might track the changes that you have been doing or other colleagues have been doing. This tracking changes, it is not only for team workers, that's an option, but it's even for your individual work if you want to keep the tracking your document that you have been creating. It is also even a data protection. There are so many other options that gives here to configure the versioning in the lifestyle, how long you want to keep the versionings. You can add different rules that can allow you to manage the versioning. In this video, I'm going to show some very basic one, how you can create the versioning of your buckets. We go to protection, and here you have the option and it gives you an information. With the object versioning on, you can store or you can restore objects that have been overwritten or deleted, and that's to reduce cost, limit the number of versioning by adding a lifestyle rules. This is something recommended, so in this way you don't have to keep tracking always your document. In this way you can reduce the storage and you can limit the cost of the storage that your tracking document is going to use. Let's turn it on. By turning on, you just turn on the versioning. If you add the recommended lifestyle, you can add here maximum number of versioning per object. So you can write 1, that's write 2, that is at least. If you want to override protection, increase the count at least 2 versions per object. Version count include lives and non-current versions. So it is recommended to have maximum 2, or you can put more, depends on how long you want to keep tracking your document. Also, it is the expire non-current version. So 7 days are recommended for the storage, but you can put less, like example 2 days or 3 days. Depends on the requirement and depends on how big your team is, different specification that your project has, and the reason why you want to activate the object or versioning. So I click it, and now it's on. As you can see, the object versioning is on. Let's go back here and let's try to delete our bucket. So here in the protection, we have object versioning is on. let's try to delete. Now it's deleted, but here in this option, you can show it. So here is your chance to recuperate the document. Even though you have deleted, it still is not completely deleted from your account. You have here information about this. You can delete it, or you can restore it, or copy, move, download. There are a few different options. Let's say that we restore it. It's going to show some way how to do it. It's going to show even the link to GSUtil, how to do it through the terminal. Let's confirm. And now is live. This object is live. We can go back. Let's go to these. And here is our document. We can open it, and we can see in the storage here that this is our HTML file. We can close it, and let's go back here, and let's see that we restore our document. Let's suppose that our document, let's close this, our document is here. We open this, not like that. We open with, where is the open with? Notepad. We open big, and we try to make a change. Computer science. And we do some changes here, update, and we save it. Now this file, we're gonna go back. We're gonna try to upload the same file. We go here, we upload this, and it's gonna say override or exclude from this. We're gonna override the object. Continue. We can open now. We see that here name, last name is updated. It has somewhere computer science, but it's written, and here the update was done. So the document that we had, it is updated. But let's suppose that we change our mind and we don't like this update that we did. We want the other update, the other version that we had. So we go back, and we see here that even though the size is different, we can see that this is the later, this is the previous version. And we can go here and restore it. And now it goes in the live object. We can go to live objects or to the buckets. We go back to this, and we open this. Now we see that we went back to the version, and we don't have the computer science here updated. So if you can see now, we can restore the versioning of the documents that we had. Here is the versioning history. And if we want and we change our mind, we can go to the other version of the index file. Let's go back. And we go to protection, and we can turn this versioning off. Now if we delete the bucket, we can go here, and you can move or edit different options. Now we have even another thing that I wanted here. The protection is none. So it is not, it is even the rotation. For example, we create a rotation policy, but I'm not going to configure. This is, for example, if you want to prevent the modification or the deletion of the objects in the bucket for a specified period of time after they are uploaded. For example, we want our document not to be deleted, not to be modified for 1 year. or we can keep for 1 month, or it depends on the policy that we want to create. You can create here the duration, and you can choose here days, months, and year. It is very important to understand that if you want to change your mind and you want to delete the buckets, you cannot delete it. So this gonna change even and affect even the cost of the price for your bucket, and depends on the requirement of your project. You can activate it, or you can protect your bucket and the information that is inside the bucket from any kind of deleted, to be deleted or to be modified. But just it's gonna be impossible even for you to delete it. So when is activated this retention policy, you have to wait until this policy is done with the configuration that you have been doing. So this is something that I wanted to mention because there might be cases that you might be using it. Here is the rules that we have created previously. And we can delete it. We can delete it. This is when we created the protection or the versioning. We created in a life cycle for the objects that we wanted to keep. You can delete now the and as you can see now, even though I delete it, it doesn't show because now the protection is off, and it doesn't show the possibility for me to recover that documents that I already deleted. You have even the possibility to activate the versioning through your terminal. You can activate or deactivate, or while you create the bucket, you can specify even the versioning to be on. You have just to make sure that your code is writing correctly, so you are really configuring properly your versioning according to the specification of your project. Also, you can create the buckets even through Terraform, which is very popular to create buckets and codes through the Terraform. You can specify it in the code in the Terraform if you want the versioning or not, or different kind of configurations that you want to create through your bucket. So this is something very simple that I wanted to show through this video, and some basic configuration and some basic interaction with your buckets in the Google Cloud.